皆さんこんにちは、SOL留学です。オーストラリアではタックスリターン確定申告の時期が迫ってまいりました。ということで本日はこちらについてピーターさんにお話を伺っていきたいと思います。ピーターさんはブリスベンに位置する会計事務所 P&C プロフェッショナルさんに所属する税理士の方で、本日こちらのインタビューのためにSOL留学オフィスまでお越しいただいております。今回の動画ではピーターさんにタックスリターンについてよくある質問、こちらについて伺っていきたいと思います。それではピーターさん、よろしくお願いいたします。
Your taxable income is gross income minus work-related expenses. So if you claim more expenses, then your taxable income will be reduced, then you will pay less tax. So we have to think about what work-related expenses are. The expense should be related to your work. For example, if you are a cleaner in Australia and you bought a vacuum, then this is work-related expense. And second, you must spend your own money, not your employer's pay. You can claim motor vehicle, car expenses. If you travel from work to work, you can claim these expenses for your deduction. But if you just drive from home to workplaces, this is not deductible. But there is always an exception. If you bring very heavy stuff, just like the cleaner's vacuum, this is very heavy, so you have to put in your car and travel from home to work, then you can claim tax deduction. Also, you can claim some travel expenses, the cost for airplane, hotels, or meal. You can all claim for deductions. And laundry, clothing, uniforms, you can claim. Self-education expenses. You can also claim for self-education expenses. This is very important because the amount you pay to the school is pretty much higher than other expenses. So you have to keep the record properly, and you have to talk with your accountant if you are eligible or not. And if you spend money to accountant, you can also claim for tax deductions. You have to keep all the records properly, receipt, and if possible, just take photos of the items you bought. It depends on your visa and your residency in Australia. If you are on student visa and other visa except working holiday visa and stay in Australia more than 6 months in a particular place, then you will be Australian resident for tax purpose. And then your tax rate is exactly the same as Australian citizen. Even somehow better because you don't need to pay Medicare levy. If you are holding working holiday visa, you have to check your residency first. If you are non-resident, your tax rate will be 15%, and then you can't have any tax benefit in Australia. If you are coming to Australia holiday and work a little bit for your the support for your holiday, then you will be non-resident for tax purpose. But if you have intention to stay in Australia longer, and if you register school, then you can be an Australian resident. Yeah, so for Japanese working holiday makers, residency is very, very important. Okay, for example, if you are working holiday maker and you earn $10,000 during the financial year, and your boss will pay $1,500 as a tax. Then if you are non-resident in Australia, non-resident working holiday maker in Australia, then you don't have any tax refund. But if you are resident in Australia and if you are Japanese working holiday maker, you can get $1,500 fully refund. And if you are holding student visa, and you will be automatically Australian tax resident. So in this situation, you can also get $1,500 tax refund. Yeah, you have to apply tax return in Australia from 1st of July to 31st of October every year. Even though you didn't have any income, you still need to report your ATO. If you don't lodge your tax return, then you may have some penalties. If you delay 28 days, the penalty can be up to $1,110. So on-time tax lodgement is very important in Australia if you have ABN or tax file number. Just yesterday, even I saw one client just contact me and I have some the penalties in ATO. What can I do? Yeah, if you got the penalty from ATO, don't pay it first and then contact us. Maybe we can apply for remission of the penalty. Then, if you have good reason, proper reason, then ATO will remit your penalty. Every year, Australian Taxation Office telling us what kind of things they will focus. This year, ATO says record keeping, work-related expenses, and rental property income and deductions, and capital gain from cryptocurrencies, assets, or property and shares. Record keeping is very basic things, like you have to keep your payslips or expenses, tax invoice, receipts, and work-related expenses. Work-related expenses, you spend money for your work-related purpose. Then, as I mentioned earlier, the expenses should be related to your work, and you have to spend your own money and keep the record. And also rental property income and deductions. If you own your property in Australia, like investment property, and you have to report your investment income and expenses properly. And capital gain from cryptocurrencies or property or shares. I know so many working holiday makers and people who holding student visa. They invest a lot in share markets. And if you sold any shares in Australia, then you have to report this information when you apply tax return. So if you have any financial product and sold them, and please report to ATO. ATO is holding all the information. First of all, you have to have your payslips or payment summary. Recently, your employers no longer issue payment summary, so your payslips are enough to lodge your tax return. And if you claim any deductions, you have to provide receipts or any other evidence that you bought work-related tools or work-related expenses you spent. Also, you need to have your photo ID, passport, or Australian driver's license, and you have to have your tax file number, obviously. Yes.
はい、ということで皆さんいかがでしたでしょうか。本日はタックスリターンについてピーターさんに詳しく教えていただきました。そしてなんと今回動画をご視聴していただいた皆様には P&C さんでタックスリターンを申請する場合 20% の割引、こちらを適用してくださるとのことですので、こちらの割引について気になった方はぜひSOL留学の公式 LINE アカウント LINEID @soledu_japan こちらまでご連絡いただければなと思います。またタックスリターンについては弊社では深く対応できかねますが TFN の申請などこちら無料で行っておりますので、こちらのサポートがご必要な場合はぜひSOL留学までご連絡いただければなと思います。また、オーストラリア留学ビザに関する質問等ございましたらお気軽にSOL留学までお問い合わせいただければなと思います。それでは次の動画でお会いいたしましょう。さようなら。